Okay, so you guys may have remembered I did a video showing y'all my stove here that I got recently. Um, this stove does appear to be in good working order. Now, this stove is not hooked up. I just stuck that stove pipe there so I could keep up with the stove pipe and I'm having to store it somewhere. And also, I just stuck it there for the look of the stove, but it's not at all hooked up, and I have not had this stove fired up. But from what I have seen on this stove, the stove does look to be in really good condition. I will let you guys see inside of here because I don't know if I showed you guys the inside of it in my last video, but I'll let you guys take a look here. Get a flashlight here. Here's the inside of the stove. There's not any cracks or anything. The top of the oven is in good shape because all this here lifts off. It's all in good shape. I don't see nothing wrong with it. The back of it here looks really good. No rust holes or anything. So I got this stove and I'd like to hook it up. That's my plan with it. I'd like to hook it up. But I'm not finding really anything much on how I could hook this thing up safely. I do know the stovepipe, I want to run the stovepipe out the wall. Because I can't run it up to the ceiling because this is a mobile home. And there's no way to get into the ceiling to run the stovepipe out. I can move the table. The stove can actually be moved down. And I know as far as my stovepipe goes, I'm going to use a double insulated pipe that has the piece, where you can run through the wall and all that's double insulated. It goes out, and there's a mounting bracket that mounts to the back of the pipe that would run up to the chimney. Okay, I got that part figured out, but it's what I haven't been able to figure out is what I could do, as far as protecting the wall behind the stove. Because definitely this stove is going to be pulled out. It cannot sit this close to the wall. Now, the person I got this stove from, they had it sitting probably this close to the wall, to their wall, but their wall had two big slabs out granite on the wall. So I don't know the safest way to do this. I've seen pictures of people using metal roofing tin, but I don't know how to, if you have to put a space behind that. I know I can get some, I don't know if it's gypsum board, but it's the board stuff you put up that's like heat resistant. I know I can get some of that. But I don't know what I would need to add to that, I just don't know. I've never hooked up a wood cook stove before. And I'm just wanting to try to get that figured out, before next winter, because I'd like to hook this up. And I also kind of would like to have you folks' opinion, because this is a mobile home. And if I stand back here, you can kind of get an idea about how close the stove is to other parts here of the house. Now, I'm not worried about this stove heating the whole house. That would not be my main concern to heat the whole house with this stove. Because I do have electric heat, but I would like to reduce my usage of electric heat. Because I don't know about you guys, but electric heat's not too cheap to run. And I also have a gas fireplace in that room. But kind of just want some opinions. What would be the safest way to hook this stove up in here? And stuff like that. Now, if need be, I guess I could pull the wood off the wall back to the sheetrock, but I don't want to have to do that. That would be a pain, but I guess it could be done, but I don't want to have to do all that. But I just kind of wanted to get an idea I mean, has anyone ever hooked up a wood stove in a mobile home? I'm kind of curious of that. To give you some dimensions, this house is a 13 by 50. I think it's a 13 by 50. Hold on a minute, I can tell you. Because we can count the tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13 by 50. So, anyway, that's my stove. I've not really been able to find much on this exact model of stove. So, any information anyone can give me, would be greatly appreciated. I do have the burner. Thing slipped the burners up. I do have that. And this does have the water. I don't know why I'm using that. It ain't hot. I do have the hot water tank. The stove does have that. It has the oven. Here's my oven. I put my soup in there that I canned. And this is like the ash drawer and stuff like that. I have cleaned this stove out. I just not finished cleaning out below the oven there because I can't get none of my tools I've got will fit in there. So I got to make me something to fit in there. Well, I could try my fireplace tools. I've not tried them, but I did vacuum the whole stove out. This stove cleaned up very nice considering what it looked like. It'd been sitting in the house for years. Never been cleaned. They never cleaned it. I mean, where they had spices on top, the only thing was white was where the spices were sitting. That's how bad this stove was. And this side was caked in grease. Because it sat beside an electric stove and they just didn't. This stove, I think probably, if I was to guess, from what I was told, the last time this stove was used that they can remember was 1992 when we had the great big blizzard here in North Carolina. This stove may have been used a few more times after that, but I don't think it was used too much after that. So, but okay, just thought I'd share this. If anyone's wondering how heavy this stove is, me and my stepdad picked this stove up. Now this below the oven there, that's a base that it sits on, but from there up, we carried that whole daggum thing, and it's got some weight to it. We didn't pick it to put it on the truck. We strapped the top. We removed all this off from the top, the burners and stuff, and we strapped it to we laid down a hand truck and strapped it to our hand truck and wheeled it up off the ground onto the back of a flatbed truck. And then to get it in the door here was actually the easiest task of all. We lined the boards up on the back of the truck, wheeled it right off onto the porch, brought it on in the door. Actually, I wheeled this thing in here by myself. I wheeled it, in the door over to here. And we picked that and we set her on the base there. I do want to get a pad and put down one of those like a stove mat. I will put one of those down, so. But okay, that's enough of me rattling on about this stove. And like I said, any tips, recommendations y'all can give me, I greatly appreciate it, It's not a loss, if I can't hook this stove up, I'm not going to get upset over it because I mostly got this stove. This stove does have some sentimental value to me with it, but I'd also like to be able to use it. Would be nice to be able to use it, but, if not, that's okay too, but, thank you guys for watching, and talk to you guys later.